Dear fellow control freak, your need to control things is costing you your life. Let's have a talk about it. First of all, your need to control things, to step in, take charge, and make sure everything is to the highest standard has been an amazing asset. It's helped you to achieve great things and even have the courage to step out on a limb and start your own business. It has been the source that has allowed you to achieve things that very few people will in their lifetimes. It has been an amazing asset until now. It's pretty remarkable how much our great strengths sooner or later actually become our greatest weaknesses. It's kind of like the college quarterback who spends their whole life thinking just about football. They achieve the bright lights, the fame, the adulation, and then they retire. And after they retire, they realize that they really hadn't developed many other parts of their life, and they're kind of left with nothing, wondering what's next. They've gone from the bright lights to being a deer in the headlights. I want you to think about what could be possible in 1 year from now. And I'm going to tell you that whatever you're imagining, what's actually possible for you is probably at least twice as big, maybe 3, 4, 5 times bigger. Whether we're talking income or adventure, personal growth, relationships, any area of your life, it is remarkable where you could be in a year from now. We just have one problem. You're standing in your own way. When we need to control every little detail, when our standards are sky high, and when we are impatient to get results, we are literally self-destructing our journey to fulfill our greatest potential. Instead of working on that book you know would change everything, instead of launching that group coaching program or that mastermind that you know would be an incredible contribution to the people that you help, would be a great revenue generator for you, and you'd probably get a ton of satisfaction out of that. Instead of doing those things, you're busy answering your email. You're busy answering your calendar. You're busy doing travel planning. And if this continues, let's be honest, are you really going to be in much different of a spot next month? What about next year? If you project out the trajectory of your life's journey, I'm very concerned for you with where you're going to land if we continue with this current addiction to control things. There's a great quote from Tim Ferriss. He says, if you want the big things to go right, you have to be okay with some of the small things going wrong. As a recovering control freak myself, I think there's a very, very interesting question that we can ask. Far too often, we ask ourselves, what if they get it wrong? What if it doesn't work out? My question to you is, what if they get it right? What if it does work out? What if you got, for example, an assistant who took over your email inbox? I did that 10 years ago, and these days, I now read, write, and respond to fewer than 10 emails per week. Right after I delegated my email inbox, I delegated my calendar. And the amount of productivity and acceleration I got in every area of my life was truly breathtaking. Since then, with my newfound time and freedom and candidly lightened psychic load, I've been able to chase down some incredibly exciting lifetime achievement type opportunities. For example, a handful of years ago, I was a guest lecturer at NYU. That never would have happened if I needed to control every single part of my day and if I was stuck in my email inbox. I also had the opportunity to be a regular contributor for Forbes. The way that I tracked down that opportunity wouldn't have been possible if I was buried in email all day. I spoken at the University of Texas in their MBA program. That also would have never happened if I was stuck in the minutiae. Do you see what I'm saying? Your potential in this lifetime is capped by your need to control. If you were 5% more patient, 5% more relaxed, 5% more trusting, I think your future could be so successful it would take your breath away. And yet, that is the opportunity cost that you are paying every single day that you insist to control everything. There's a quote that sends chills down my spine. Hell is meeting the man I could have been. Let's not do that. Let's not get to the pearly gates, meet the man that we could have been, and feel crushed. Instead, let's catch ourselves now while we've still got runway, and let's make a new decision. Having delegated my own email inbox over 10 years ago, I can tell you 100% that when it comes to trusting an assistant, it gets easier and easier and easier. When I got my first ever truly great assistant, it took me about 14 months before I was ready to delegate my email inbox. That assistant was with me in total for about 6 years. Then 3-4 years ago, I ended up getting a new assistant, and that new assistant, I gave them my email inbox in the first week. So I assure you that this kind of thing gets easier with time. It kind of reminds me of parents who have 3 kids. If the first kid puts dirt in their mouth, that parent is calling a doctor. Their second kid puts dirt in their mouth, the parent, they just clean the dirt out of the kid's mouth and send them on their way. Then with their third child, that kid puts dirt in their mouth, the parent probably just wonders like, I wonder if I have to feed them lunch anymore. So I invite you, what would life be like if you were a little more patient, a little more relaxed, a little more trusting? I think what would be possible for you would positively amaze you. Cheering you on.